I was scrolling Instagram today and I saw a friend of a girl that I was seeing for about a year and a half to 2 years. I never made her my official girlfriend, but there was a period where I did promise to be exclusive, and we saw each other for a while, right? Anyway, we don't follow each other on Instagram because we've since separated, and her friend I still do follow on Instagram. I saw that the girl I was seeing had commented under it, and I really tried to never view their Instagram ever again after the separation is done, because I just don't think it's a good idea. But I decided, you know what, let me check, because every time I do end up checking thus far, it's only, giving me a little bit of, I don't know what the word is, relief maybe. But yeah, I'm always expecting to see something I don't want to see, because it's been quite a long time now since I've ended things with her, and I just left. I didn't really give much explanation. I kind of just I left, and yeah, it was an interesting move. It was a decision that I knew I had to make because I just knew I had to do it. And yeah, ended off on that note, and a lot of time has passed. And so every time I had visited her Instagram, I was always expecting, maybe I would come across something I didn't want to see, like her moving on. Because, that's what humans do, right? So far, I haven't had to experience that in my whole life yet. Seeing a girl that I've been intimate with move on. My first ever girlfriend, for example, I had dated for 2 years, and then I broke up with her. Similar situation, because some principles I wanted to stick to in my life about how I wanted my family to be. And you guys probably have an idea of what that mindset would consist of, because you see how fucking retarded I am and neurodivergent with the way I think. I've explained my thought processes on this channel. And this is why, of course, I don't explain this to them, because first of all, it would be hurtful. And second of all, and like you just don't need to do that. Anyway, so I broke up with my first girlfriend, despite having literally no complaints about her. Like, she was perfect in every regard, never disrespectful at all, always perfect. I liked everything about her. Super, super sweet, feminine, like all the good things you could imagine. But I knew I couldn't. I just knew I had to end it. Let's just leave it at that. I knew I had to end it, and I figured sooner rather than later I would have to do it. And another reason why I figured I had to end it was because I wanted to focus on my business. Even if I could decide to make it work with her, because maybe I could have, I don't know. But I wanted to focus on my business. Anyway, this story is for another day, okay? The point is, we broke up, and this was a long time ago. This is years ago. I had broke up with her maybe 2022. Yeah, I think so. And I stayed in contact with her for a little bit, and because I was just trying to be nice about the breakup. I was trying to be a good, respectful person, a genuine, good human being about the situation. So, I would answer calls and answer texts, trying to comfort her through the process. And eventually I knew it came to the point where I had to cease communication, because she wouldn't be able to move on otherwise. And so I did that, and this just made it more difficult for her. And I didn't understand why at the time, but now knowing what I do about female nature, I do understand it. But I hate to even think like that, associated it with her, because she's just such a good girl. And I'm just so upset that for her sake that it didn't work out. I feel so bad. But anyway, the point is, she would send me emails for like 2 years, very long, detailed emails. I think because she said her therapist said it was like good for coping to write out messages, and then she just decided she would send them to me too. I don't know if this was true or not. Maybe something she made up as an excuse to keep sending me stuff. But yeah, for about 2 years, she would send me very long emails. And even when I took another girl on a trip kind of recently, like January of last year, 2025, she had found out about me seeing this girl. And she sent a very long, lengthy email listing everything about this girl that she found, like her name, her age, where she lives, that she's interested in poetry and all these things. I don't know how she got all this information, but my whole point with all this is that she obviously never moved on. And in one of the emails she had sent me, and I don't read most of them because there's just so many to keep up with, but one of them, it said something like, I'm never gonna see another man intimately again until I get married or something. And obviously as a man, man, this is gonna sound like really selfish to admit, but I'll admit it to you guys. And I would think that most men feel the same way. But like, the politically correct thing to do when you break up with someone, or to feel when you break up with someone, is you say like, I'm happy for them moving on. Like, I want to see them move on and be happy. But I don't know what it is with my biology, but I think I like the idea that she's not moving on. Does that make me a terrible person? I don't know. But it does kind of comfort me, knowing that, she's not seeing anyone else, even though it's been years. And she's become like, she was already religious, which I loved about her, but she's become like even more religious. And yeah, so she's not, I don't even know if she's dating at all, but I have no idea. I don't keep up with her. Anyway, the point is, I've never had to experience seeing another man be with a woman that I had been with for an extended period intimately. And the idea of that, even after a breakup, is not nauseating to me. And I don't know, like, is this a problem of having like too much testosterone? Or, I don't know, just something in my genetics that just makes me very territorial, I guess. But yeah, like, even though it's been so long, I don't want to see any of that. Anyway, that was a tangent, but it was important context. Anyway, so back to the other girl that I had left as well, and I haven't been seen for a very long time. I decided to check her Instagram, and it's something that I'm always reluctant to do because I just feel like I'm eventually, inevitably, going to see something I don't want to see there. Because, like, we're human beings. We all have to move on. And maybe the situation with my first girlfriend was a little bit different, but I'm sure another girl is bound to move on. So, yeah, I'm always afraid to check it, but afraid isn't the right word. I'm just trying to be intelligent. Like, why would I do that to myself? But anyway, I saw her comment, saw her name, and I just said, all right, fuck it. I'll click it. Let me see what she's been up to. Because every time I have clicked it, I have been relieved. Because usually all the posts, she would always send lots of subliminal messages through music on social media. She would always send me like subliminal messages because she knows that I'm competent enough to understand them. That's some advice, by the way. Just play dumb, guys. Just play dumb when girls send you subs through social media. Play dumb because if you pay attention to it, she's just gonna, first of all, it signals way too much care in looking into things. And two, she's gonna play a lot of games with you on there. So yeah, just play dumb. Anyway, she knew that I would understand these subliminals, so she would always do them. And the subliminals I came across since I had ended things with her, it was really just a lot of like stuff that made sense. Like a lot of songs about wanting, like it went through phases, you know, like when I had first stopped seeing her, it was more like frustrated subliminals, like being upset at me. And then it slowly transitioned the subliminals to like longing for, you know, a past lover or whatever. You know, stuff like this. A lot of subliminals, stuff like that, you know, that just signal the idea of like her valuing the situation and it being pretty wholesome. And anyway, the main thing I wanted to talk about that I saw was just literally a couple of weeks ago, it turns out she had came to where I live, and there's this path that she knows I walk every single day around like 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock. She knows because she would spend many nights at my place and we would walk my dog together the next day. And so she knew that was my path. Like I walk on this path by the water every single day around 3 to 4 p.m. unless I'm visiting my parents, which I usually do once or twice a week. Or if I'm traveling out of state, you know, to go to Florida or some Caribbean island or some shit. And she had posted pictures there on this path. And it's a very narrow path. Like if I had been walking on that path that day, we 100% would have seen each other. 100%. And the sunlight in the picture appeared to be like 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Around that time, she knows I would be walking my dog. And the subliminal she used for it did make a lot of sense. It was like, yeah, pretty much in line with everything I've been saying, but a little bit more vague than the prior ones. Yeah, there's a lot of nuance with subliminals when somebody knows you're competent enough to understand them. That's a whole topic to get into one day, but yeah, she took the gamble of potentially running into me, and we haven't spoken in like, I mean, almost a year. Not that much. Maybe like 8 months or 9 months. It's been a long time, and we haven't spoken. And she's not the only girl that did this. There was another girl that I was seeing a lot less seriously, but I was seeing for about maybe like 3 months. I don't know. The months just flew by. And it didn't seem that long to me, but she got pretty invested, and I wasn't really paying attention. But yeah, similar situation with her. She went to the same spot, and I'd still follow this one on Instagram. We still follow each other because it was never that deep, at least from my perspective. But it's funny, like they post the same subliminal songs. Like there's this one song, Salvatore. Literally like 3 girls use that song. Anyway, so she posted a story being at this same location. It was a little off the path, and it was more towards an area where you sit down, but she knows that I walk my dog to that area. It's after the path. That's like my final destination of the walk. And it was around like 4 p.m. So I was like, you're like trying to run into me, I guess. And it's interesting like how they do it. They like I respect it. I admire it. You know, it would make for, like, if it was meant to be, you know, like type story, that maybe I would have been walking in that area at that same time, but somehow I wasn't. Even though I'm there almost every single day around that time, I miss both of them. Man, there's so much lore I have for you guys. There's so much lore I have for you guys, like so many interesting stories that are telling about female nature that you could probably take some lessons from, or just maybe enjoy listening to them, because I feel like these kinds of real nuanced niche stories are just nowhere to be found on the internet. And I don't know if I'm painting a good picture with my words alone, but I'm trying. You know, I'm trying. I feel like you guys get the idea mostly. But yeah, it's so weird seeing. Like, damn. Like, she really tried to, because of course 100% is deliberate. Like, she did a whole like photo shoot thing at this exact location that she knows I walk every single day. Like, of course it's deliberate, and now I don't know what to do. Well, I'm not gonna do anything, but like I'm saying, I don't know what to do. You know what? Let's stop this video here. We're gonna stop the video here. And there's so much more lore I could tell you with other situations and all. And you know, it's a strong possibility that some of these girls end up finding these videos. And I know my ex-girlfriend, I know she might, because somehow she found Julius Perceiver. In the emails, I was looking up keywords one day, and I looked up the keyword Julius Perceiver to see what emails I had related to it. And I saw one of her emails, and I opened it, and it turns out she had mentioned it, and I forget what the email was about, but it was like talking about maybe having Julius Perceiver in her search history and feeling bad about it. I don't know. Something like that. But yeah, there's a chance that especially she finds these videos, and I wouldn't be surprised if a couple others do, who are also seem to be very investigative. There's one I talked about kind of recently in one of my more recent videos, the one that strategically ghosted me. She's really good at finding stuff. So she might come across these videos eventually. The one I just made this video about, she's really good too. So it's like, and there's another one too, which might, yeah, I could think of a few girls that might find these videos, but here's the thing. I don't care. I literally don't care. At first, you know, maybe when I was younger, I'd be thinking like, oh no, like, they're gonna see these. I can't talk about this stuff. But I don't care. Like, I feel like I know I'm a good person, like, to myself. And, you know, just, if they see it and they don't like what they see, it's whatever, you know? I don't care. And besides, if they spent that much time and energy going down rabbit holes to find more stuff about me after many months or years of having ended the relationship. I mean, I don't even think this could mess anything up. Like, they're just in so deep. I don't know. I really don't know why this tends to happen. Um, I'd really like to think it isn't mostly because of my hyper success and money. Maybe a combination of everything combined. Maybe my phallus. But yeah, I'm not sure why it happens. It might be the neurodivergence, if I'm being honest. Or the most likely might be they sense that I have like an overwhelming ambition and that perhaps one day I will take over the world. It's probably the most likely one. Or the phallus. All right, we're going to stop the video.